I had a really fun Overwatch game yesterday, and I thought I hit the save button afterwards, and then thought maybe I'd upload it to show a couple friends of mine, maybe send it to the other players in the game. This is my second take on commentary. Unfortunately, I liked the first one because I ad-libbed it, and it was the first time watching the game again, but I love the Diva B skin. But this microphone kind of stinks, and I didn't watch my volume and articulation clearly enough. Anyways, so I'm redoing it, and it won't be as spontaneous as the other one, unfortunately. What I'm doing here, I think, to the best of my recollection, is waiting to see what other people pick, making sure we've got a support character and a tank. I try and... I've got all the 4 support characters in my top 10 usage thing. I try and do my share of support if it seems like nobody else wants to. I love playing tanks. Tanks are fun. But since it seems like we've got those covered, I'm going Pharah. I like using her on Route 66 because it provides a lot of opportunities to fly above things, and while she's good on a lot of levels, I particularly enjoy her on ones where you can really sort of play with her aerial abilities. This is obviously on PS4, so you won't see the kind of accuracy you see on console players, and now you get to watch me run around and look at the posters on the wall for a while. I started the detail in the starting zones is really kind of fun if you take some time to check things out a bit. Like all the stuff up in this diner is it's just an unnecessary amount of detail, so it's really kind of nice that they took the time to invest in that. So you'll see, right, I walk into this turret right on the right there, and it's fairly easy to take out because I can back into the healing zone there, get charged back up, come out and take a few more shots at it. Pharah is really pretty decent at being anti-turret, A, because of splash damage, so you can often splash them without going into their line of sight, and also because of the sort of fire and forget nature of rockets, and being able to hop out. Oh, that's where my controller battery died. I started laughing when I first was recording the first take of this commentary because I'd forgotten about it, and yeah, me panic reaching over to grab the other controller. I wish that you could set the PlayStation to give you like a continuous low battery prompt when it's low instead of the single warning you get, because it happens to me all the time in competitive stuff where I'm like, I can't deal with it when the warning comes up, and then by the time the match is over, I have forgotten. I wanted to point out that I am a very mediocre player and pretty much getting lucky so far. Now I'm trying to take out that turret. I've seen it on the roof, even though we pushed the payload past it. And I realize I'm getting healed by my Mercy, and so I think, oh, I can just take care of it. And she pops out the door there and takes off, and I didn't notice until the kill cam showed it from the reverse angle. So I thought she knew what I was going for. There she goes, and down I go. Which is totally fine. Like, you know, she probably misunderstood, didn't notice what I was doing, or saw somebody else who needed healing more urgently or whatever. It's kind of the perils of playing without voice, which I would love to play more coordinated games, but here I walk into a Bastion, and then she reses me, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna die again. But I managed to just be able to set up and do the splash damage thing. I would love to play more coordinated games, but for the most part, and there's my Nemesis turret, which this time I think I successfully avenged myself on. What was I saying? Oh, well, I forget. Torbjorn. I've used Torbjorn. I put more hours in with him than anybody, and I feel like he's a little overpowered, but that doesn't seem to be the general consensus online. Which kind of surprises me, because like my win percentage is something like 52%, and I think 87 with Torbjorn. So I've stopped using him just because I was kind of relying on him. Especially when things are going badly and I'm on defense, I just switch to him and often be able to... I was proud that I noticed that trap placement. Often be able to turn it around, and yeah, I don't know, I just like have sort of forced myself to use all the characters, and generally found that a pretty rewarding strategy, because the ones that I liked least or felt were not effective, as I forced myself to use more time with them, I've gotten pretty good with. Or, sorry, that I found more enjoyable. I'm not pretty good with anybody, really. And that's not me being, that's not false humility so much as knowing that I cannot compete on higher levels in this game. I think the matchmaking does a great job, because I generally find like it pairs me up with people who are about my skill level, unlike some other games that I've played where I'm frequently just getting wrecked by the really good players. Yeah, so this is what's now the time is running down. You see we got 35 seconds. I sort of throw out a desperation ultimate there because I'm just trying to get things moving. It was a complete waste, but I'm conscious of the clock. I should have taken more time to figure out where it would have been useful, but things worked out alright. Run, get the health. One thing I found is really useful in this game is to grab health even when you don't need it, just to deny it to the opposing team. Probably annoys my teammates a few times when they need it, but yeah, health denial seems to account for a lot. So yeah, we just make it through that checkpoint, get the extra 2 minutes, and proceed with a bit of a desperation push through pretty much the rest of the game. I remember getting killed by this because I remember this kill cam and her firing their rocket into the column there and buying me one more shot that let us kill each other, I think. Which I didn't deserve. I got lucky that she hit that column. And it really helps on this leg of this map if you can sort of harass people before they get entrenched again. I was proud of this kill. I remember being like, oh man, that was just too perfect. And then this one, realizing that I would never kill her from this position, that because I'm firing up, I can't get any splash damage. It's just not ever gonna work. So I try chasing her down, which doesn't work again because my jump jets are on cooldown and hers, so she's above me, and everything goes wrong there. I'm running from a self-destructing diva into the path of a bastion that I didn't know was there. Yeah, everything just fell apart there. And again now, so we're approaching panic mode, or I am. I'm noticing that my ultimate's charging and that there's 20 seconds on the clock and that the payload isn't moving. So I jump out here trying to get anything done, and I take a ton of damage. 20%, 20 health, 10 seconds on the clock, my ultimate's ready. I realize I don't have time to go get healed. I'm gonna get killed, but I have to do this anyways. Of course I do get killed, but maybe I distract the enemy or do enough damage for my allies to push through. So I kind of assumed there we were screwed, that we had lost it. But so I'm racing back in a panic. I see we have guys on the payload now. You know, the numbers fluctuating in a way that of course makes me nervous, but seeing there that over time things going down, it's back frozen, and we made it, and I'm super happy. Those are victory rockets, and then I throw out a thanks. as I did the last one, just because I'm like super ecstatic at this point. I was just on the edge of the seat the whole time. I remember here that my diva getting in front of me and just being like, well, I'll just fire through her and hope the splash damage pays off. And then trying a sad little punch here that fails, and then getting rezzed and getting the kill on the diva pilot, and really feeling like I didn't earn that was all Mercy Rez taking credit for that one. But now I'm kind of hopeful because we only have a minute, but we are pushing forward. They don't seem to be there. I fly up here and try and do some long distance harassment. Oh yeah, I was gonna, well, I don't even know if there's time to say. I was gonna say on that last segment of the map between the first checkpoint and the second, often people try and set up too close, I think, and they sort of, oh yeah, we get rezzed right in front of a bastion again. Story of my life. Man, but I get lucky again. Every time though, I just assume I'm gonna go down. I remember being happy. I love seeing a diva self-destruct after I'm dead. Which of course it gets her fully repaired, so it's like totally not a waste on her part, but every time it happens I'm like, ha, joke's on you, I'm already dead. Yeah, 10 seconds, payload's not moving. I'm assuming we're losing because this last little push is so hard. We're in the last few seconds, I'm getting rezzed. Another desperation alt. All I kill is a Riptire. That is fine. Now I'm sticking to this thing, trying to just keep that clock, that overtime clock from timing out. I'm not even trying to really do damage here so much as I am trying to buy my allies time, and I don't notice until right here that bastion that's on the payload. It's funny because in the replay it's like super obvious, but my focus was elsewhere, and yeah. So I'm like, oh crap, but we seem to be pushing it forward. Again, just like Heart Attack City, we're trying to run back to the payload, watching allies on and off it, the overtime clock start and stop again. Just managing to get on it. That Hanzo ultimate was probably clutch. Me killing that tank was super lucky. Me just trying to glue myself to the payload, and there it is. And I just I felt like this was such a great match. I hope that the defenders, despite losing, got to enjoy it a bit. It was kind of disheartening to go into the next game and get paired up against some of my allies in this game, because I just felt like we pulled off something great. It was a ton of fun. And that's about it, I guess. I don't think there's, yeah, and then I get rezzed, and just, yeah, I don't have retention, so I can't take any credit for what happened there. Everybody did super good. 12 players resurrected is awesome. 62 rocket direct hits is not bad. 328 objective time. 49% kill participation for Diva. I feel like everybody did great, so props to everybody.